I'm in LAX and it's absolutely abandoned. But our flight leaves in about 50 minutes and then we will begin the process of going through managed isolation in New Zealand, which I will be taking all of you along on the journey with me. It's gonna be weird as a New Zealand citizen, but born here in the United States. I feel a lot of really conflicting and amazing emotions. I'm so excited to move to New Zealand. I'm so excited for Carrie and I for this next chapter in our lives. But at the same time, leaving America right now during the height of the pandemic and all of the rest of the crazy stuff that's been happening in America, coming to LAX just to see this is crazy. Airport, which is the 4th largest airport in the United States, absolutely empty. It's just very surreal. It's been a strange evening and yeah, this is gonna be a wild trip, so stick around. I'll take you along. Let's go. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I am Alex, aka Alex the Vagabond, and in this video, I am coming to you from managed isolation in Auckland, New Zealand. If you've been reading the news or you're at all aware of the situation here in New Zealand is in a very unique position right now. They have been able to pretty much keep coronavirus out of the country. And the way they've done that is what's called managed isolation and quarantine, or MIQ for short. So what is MIQ? Well, managed isolation is the mandatory 14-day quarantine for anybody coming into New Zealand from abroad to ensure that you do not have COVID-19 and you are not bringing the virus into the country. Now, the border is officially closed for everyone who is not a New Zealand citizen or a visa holder. If this is the first time you've seen my channel, welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you do not miss out on any of the upcoming videos. And if you're a returning subscriber, well then welcome back. Now, I know many of you have a lot of questions about this managed isolation program, and in this video, I will be sharing all of those with you. So if you enjoy this video, please do me a big favor and hit that thumbs up button, share it with your friends, family around the world. With that out of the way, we can start to talk about what managed isolation has been like and my experiences entering New Zealand during this crazy time. If you've seen my previous video, then you know all of the steps involved of getting out of our rental property in Los Angeles and getting prepared to move here to New Zealand. Getting on my first flight in nearly a year was definitely surreal. Take a look at what LAX was like for our trip this year.
Come lay me down. Come heal me now. Come take this crown. Don't need it anymore. What's going on inside?
I've never seen Los Angeles airport like that. It was crazy. It was like a ghost town. I mean, some of these images are pretty surreal. They look like they could be straight out of a zombie apocalypse movie. We had no problems on the flight. We got what's called a sky couch on Air New Zealand, so we had our own row and we slept great and woke up the next morning and we're here in Auckland. Well, we have landed in Auckland and now we are waiting on a plane. They've disembarked people who are traveling onwards to Australia and we're waiting for the Ministry of Health, I believe, to come on board and tell us what happens next. Upon arrival, we were greeted by medical professionals who gave us a temperature scan. They asked us some questions, whether or not we were experiencing any symptoms from COVID-19. We said we weren't. We passed our temperature scan, we went to customs, and I showed my passport, Carrie showed her visa, and we were allowed into the country. After that, we were greeted by the military, who gave us a bus ticket with a letter on it. We got really lucky. The way this managed isolation program works, there are different hotels across the entire country in different cities that have been co-opted to serve as these isolation and quarantine centers. And some people flying into Auckland would have to go down to Christchurch or to Wellington or to Rotorua at these other different quarantine facilities. We got really lucky. We only had to hop on a bus and travel for about 20 minutes from the airport to the CBD, the Central Business District of Auckland. And as you can see, we got really lucky with a nice hotel with a great view of the Sky Tower and downtown Auckland. Upon arrival to the hotel, we were greeted by the military, who were super kind and explained how the whole situation was going to work.
I work for the New Zealand Defence Force and I am the facility manager here. So I am responsible for your stay for the next 14 days.
While we were being told how the process was working, another group of people were coming and taking our luggage and sanitizing it, spraying it down with disinfectant to kill the virus if it existed on any of the luggage. And then we were checked into the hotel, and were asked to go directly up to our hotel rooms. We have made it to Auckland. We are
so good.
in managed isolation, and we literally just arrived into our hotel room. Honestly, I have so many emotions going on inside of me right now. It's been such a crazy year in 2020, and moving to New Zealand is something we've been wanting to do for years, and the fact that we are here now is just, it's pretty surreal. But also I just have nothing but great things to say about how well New Zealand is handling this, how organized the entire experience was from beginning to end. And we have made it. So we're in this room, this little hotel room. It's actually quite big.
We have our breakfast. I'm hungry.
Yeah. This hotel room is home for the next 2 weeks.
We are on day 0 of managed isolation. We took a shower when we got in, and now we are off to go get our day 0 COVID test.
We were called and asked to come back down to the lower floor of the hotel, which they had turned into a COVID testing facility. Since we came from America, we were deemed a high-risk country, as well as arrivals from the UK, and that's because New Zealand is quite worried about the new variants of COVID that are sprouting up in the United Kingdom, in America, and in Brazil. We did our first COVID test, and we had to wait 2 days for the results from that test. During that 2-day period, we were asked not to leave our hotel room. Day 2, 48 hours after we arrived, we got the results from our initial COVID tests back. They were both negative, thankfully, and we were given these wristbands which allow us to leave our room, go down to the lobby, outside for a walk, and give us a little bit more freedom. So this is our walking spot, workout spot. You can do a couple of laps around here. It's nice to get outside. On day 3, we had our second COVID test. We were negative, so we've actually proven twice that we do not have COVID. And on day 11, tomorrow, today is the 10th day of this 2-week managed isolation, and I can't believe how quickly it's all gone by. Tomorrow we have our last COVID test, and that will be sufficient to prove that we do not have COVID-19. And on day 14, we will be released out into New Zealand. Another little thing that has helped us pass the time is this gratitude calendar that my wife Carrie has created. Each day, once we finish the day, we flip over the piece of paper and we add 3 positive things that have happened to us during the day. And it's just an easy way to kind of pass the time and maintain a positive, optimistic outlook. So I posted on my Instagram at Alex the Vagabond, and I asked you guys to ask me questions about the whole process. So I'm just gonna pop in here real quick and I'm gonna answer a couple of those. So for those of you wondering, your food arrives 3 meals a day plus some snacks. Directly to your door. You choose what you want the day or 2 before. There's a little newsletter here, which has got some games, and it just kind of explains what's on the schedule, what's happening, where we are. Breakfast today, it looks like we have some little pastries in there. Yum, yum, yum. Some juice, fresh fruit. Okay, looks good. And then what else do we have? I think Carrie got a BAP, which for those of you who don't know is that. It's kind of like a breakfast sandwich. I guess they call BAPs. It's like a British word. A BAP. And there's a Carrie. Everybody, this is the shower vlog. Welcome to the most intimate videos we'll ever make. And then water also arrives whenever you want. We ordered some flat whites, which is good. And there's so many like incredibly nice people who've reached out via Instagram who want to bring us like care packages. So we will have some coffee and some stuff coming. It should be good. How are you feeling?
Refreshed now that I'm out of the shower, and I feel good that I got a workout in. Thank you for inspiring me to do that. And now I'm hungry.
Yeah, let's eat. Lycian E. Alex asks, can you travel from one region to another in New Zealand? Yes, you can. New Zealand does have a system of levels which correspond to the threat of COVID, whether or not there's an outbreak. Right now they're in level 1, lowest level, which means that people are moving around freely within the country. And so once we get out, we will be allowed to kind of go about our business and to travel around the country and find where we want to live. Jess W. Travels asks me, what's the first thing that I'm gonna do when we get out of quarantine? And I think it's gonna have to be a haircut because it's been quite a while. All of 2020, Carrie was cutting my hair in our backyard. So I'm looking forward to getting a good haircut at a salon here from a actual hairstylist. Sam Klutz 97 says, what's the best way to start the process of moving to another country? I'd say the best way to start the process is to first off decide where you want to go, and secondly Google how you move there. There should be a lot of information online. You can always just call the consulate or the embassy of the country that you're interested in moving to, and you can ask them how you go about moving there. You're obviously going to have to apply for a visa, and different countries have different requirements. Yeah, I would say the best way to do that is to just go online and do some research for yourself. Sarah Bryan says, I'd love to know what the airplane journey was like. Did you have to wear face masks and shields or just masks? And how spread out was everyone on the plane? Embarking and disembarking the plane, etc. This flight was the first time that I had been on a plane in a year, and there was some distancing, especially when we were boarding and getting off of the plane, but once you got on the plane, you know, people were sitting pretty close to each other. There wasn't, you know, mandatory spaces between seats, and you did have to keep your mask on for the entirety of the flight, except for when you were eating or drinking. So some people had full shields and masks. I saw one person who was like in a full jumpsuit. But we just wore our regular masks. You know, I also have read a lot of information saying that of all the indoor spaces that you can be in, being inside of a plane is actually the safest due to how much air comes in and all of the different filtration systems that they have on the plane. Birdie Bob Fleming asks, will we go to an All Blacks game? I do sincerely hope that we can make it to an All Blacks game, but honestly, the idea of going to a live sporting event or going to a concert is still something that's going to take us a while to get used to. but I am looking forward to taking Carrie to her first All Blacks game. I hope that you enjoyed this video. It's been fun creating for all of you, and I'm really looking forward to making as much content as I possibly can and staying consistent with weekly videos for all of you this year. So if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down there in the comment section. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, then please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Every single one of you count, and I'm really looking forward to continuing to create for all of you in 2021. So we are gonna finish out these last couple of days of managed isolation, and I'll have a new video for all of you on our first day out in New Zealand. And yeah, as I always say, train harder, fail smarter, and never give up, okay?